Hello everyone, this is Ma'am Jenny May Abalos. Are you ready to learn new lessons in Mathematics 7? But before that, let's have some coronavirus safety precautions. First, wash your hands. Next, keep your hands to yourself. Third, wear a mask and keep your distance. So we are now in week 7 of our quarter 1. Then this would be our part 1. Our lesson or topic is subsets of real numbers. The objectives for this lesson are the followings. When we say objectives, ito po yung ating matututunan after the video or after the lesson. So the objectives are, first, we have describe and illustrate the different subsets of real numbers. Next, represents real-life situations involving real numbers, solve word problems involving real numbers, and appreciate the importance of the evolution of the number system in real-life situations. Before going to our main topic, now we will have a review. I believe that in the past or in the previous lessons, you have encountered different kinds of numbers, right? So now, I will be giving some numbers. So the numbers would be 3, 1/2, -6, 0.5, 0, and square root of 15. Then you would identify the category of the following numbers. So the options would be integers, whole numbers, fraction, decimal, irrational numbers, and counting numbers. So pipiliin nyo lang po if saan natin ilalagay yung bawat number na given. So let's start with 3. Alin po kaya or saan po kaya natin ilalagay ang 3? Correct! Siya po ay sa counting numbers. Next, let's have 1/2. 1/2 belongs to the family of fraction. Correct! Now let's have the -6. -6 should be in the integers. 0.5 in the decimal numbers, correct? Then 0 would be in the whole numbers, and the square root of 15 is an irrational numbers, correct? So real numbers comprise of any number that you can think or use in everyday life. It is the compilation of all types of numbers. It means lahat po ng number na inyong naalala, inyong nalaman, simula nung toddler kayo, simula nung baby kayo na nagsastart pa lang kayong magbilang hanggang kayo yung mag-aral ng kinder, ng elementary, lahat yon ay real numbers. Meron lang silang iba't ibang category or yung tinatawag ng nating subsets of real numbers. So this is the diagram of a real number. So real numbers, siya ay nahati sa dalawa, the rational and the irrational numbers. So sa irrational numbers, mamaya magbibigay ako ng mga examples for irrational numbers and even for rational numbers. Sa rational numbers ay nahati ulit siya sa dalawa. The isa ay yung fractions and yung isa ay integers. So in fractions, actually kasama dito yung decimals. For the integers naman, ito po yung mga napag-aralan ninyo sa previous lessons, which is yung may negative, may positive, yun po yung integers. So sa integers, dalawa po, we have the negative integers and we have the whole numbers. Sa whole numbers po, nandyan na po yung positive numbers. Then sa whole numbers, dalawa ulit ang hatian. Isa yung 0, so si 0 at saka yung natural numbers, or the other term for natural numbers is counting numbers. So ito naman po yung Venn diagram for the real number system. Ayan, merong given or merong examples for the following kinds of numbers. So you have irrational, separate siya. Then you have the rational, the integers, the whole numbers. The natural numbers, or again, other term for natural numbers is the counting number. Okay, so now, we will have the definition of the subsets of real numbers and magbibigay din ako ng mga examples. Natural or counting numbers. These are the numbers that we use in counting. Diba? Pag nagbibilang, sasabihin ng teacher, oh, you count 1, 2, 3. Right? So, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so on and so forth. So, walang katapusan na pagbibilang. Lahat yan ay tinatawag nating natural or counting numbers. How about the whole numbers? These are the numbers consisting of the set of counting numbers and zero. So, if you will see the natural or the counting numbers with the whole numbers, meron lang silang konting pagkakaiba. Ano yung pagkakaiba nila? Sa whole numbers po, kasama si zero, correct. Mali, pero doon sa counting, walang zero. Kasi nga counting siya eh. Pag counting numbers, hindi naman tayo nagbibilang simula sa zero. Tama? We count starting with number 1. So, yun lang po yung difference ni counting number at saka ni whole numbers. Next, we have the integers. Integers, the set of natural numbers commonly called the positive integers. Their opposites are the negative integers and zero. So, ang integers naman, lahat ng negative numbers, lahat ng positive numbers, kasama si zero, yun ang bumubuo kay integers. For rational numbers naman, these are numbers that can be expressed as a quotient of two integers, a over b, provided that b is not equal to 0. So, in the rational numbers, all the numbers that can be expressed as a fraction or yung sinasabing quotient of two integers, lahat yon ay tatawagin nating rational numbers. Tanong, ma'am, ang yung integer po ba, the whole numbers and the counting numbers can be considered rational numbers? The answer is yes, because whole numbers, counting numbers, and integers can be expressed as a quotient of two integers, can be expressed as a fraction. Therefore, all of those numbers are rational numbers. Okay? Then, the last one, we have the irrational numbers. Ito yung kabaliktaran naman ni rational. Numbers that cannot be expressed as a quotient of two integers. It includes the non-terminating and non-repeating decimals. Their exact values cannot be expressed as either terminating or repeating decimals. So, examples of irrational numbers, we have the pi. So, yung value po ng pi, if have you recalled in your previous lessons, 3.1415, so on and so forth, walang katapusan yon. Kaya nga siya tinawag na non-terminating and non-repeating. So, that would be the value of pi, walang katapusan. Same goes with the square root of 5 and the negative square root of 12. For the square root of 5 and the negative square root of 12 is pwede natin siyang kunin through calculator and walang katapusan ang kanyang decimal. Non-terminating, walang katapusan, non-repeating, hindi siya uulit. Pwede din naman natin siyang isolve gamit ang papel at ballpen pero medyo mahirap, medyo matagal. And yun nga, ulitin ko, walang katapusang pagsosolve ang gagawin natin. Kaya sila tinawag na irrational numbers. Now, let's move on. Examples of real-life situations which involve real numbers. Actually, real numbers ay makikita natin sa pang-araw-araw nating buhay. Yes, hindi lang natin siya sasabihin, ay, math lang yan. No, we can see real numbers everywhere and sa lahat ng ating ginagawa. So, let's have, I'll just give two examples for this. First example, 4 students divide the pizza that they bought after class. Represent the part that could be received by each member using real number. So the scenario is, there are 4 students, they bought 1 pizza, so the pizza is circle, then of course they divided it equally for themselves. So ang gagawin natin is to represent the part that could be received by each member. Matatanggap ng isa isang member. So, what would be that real number? So, the answer is 1/4. Correct. So, 1 or the 4, let's start with the denominator. 4 would represent the 4 students. Kasi diba, 4 silang maghahati. Then, yung 1 would represent the 1 member na tatanggap nung kanyang part doon sa pizza. So, yung isang student ay makakatanggap ng 1/4 nung buong pizza. Okay? Next, example number 2. In an election for classroom officers, 11 students declared as winners. There were 60 students in the class. Represent the part of officers to the whole class using real number. So the answer would be 11/60. So again, the 60, the denominator would be yung pangkalahatan. So there are 60 students in the class. Then the numerator is 11. Why 11? So the 11 represents the winners. So there are 11 classroom officers na napili sa election. So it means, yung 60 kasi, it means all the students have the chance, equal chance na manalo doon sa election. Kaya lang itong 11, sila po ang nakakuha ng highest vote. Okay? Kaya sila po ang dineclare na winner. So, the representation for the part of officers to the whole class using real number would be 11/60. Then, the last one for this part 1 of our lesson, problem solving involving real numbers. So, we can also solve problems involving real numbers. So, before giving you the problem, let's have first the steps in solving word problems. First, we need to read and understand the problem. We need to comprehend it. We need to understand it so that we can answer the problem. Next, draw a sketch to visualize the problem. Mas maganda meron kang kahit simpleng drawing na wherein visualize mo yung problem for us to easily answer the problem. Third, identify the operations that will be used. So what would be the operations? Would it be addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? Then 4, answer the question asked. Then 5, check the answer if they satisfy all the conditions given in the problem. So we need to check if our answer is correct to the conditions given. Okay, I'll just give one example. There are 60 students in a class. 3/5 of them are girls. How many girls are there? How many boys? How many are boys? Okay, so first we need to, we did understand, we did understand the problem. The next step would be, we need to draw, to sketch. Okay, so gumawa ako ng isang rectangle and I divide it in 5 equal parts. So bakit 5? Kasi as you can see, 3/5 of them are girls. So it's the fraction for the girls, yung 3/5. So it means yung whole niya is divided into equal 5 parts. So I made 5 squares, ayan, so equally divided po yan. So etong darker part, etong darker squares, yan, that would be the representation for the girls. That is the 3/5, right? So 3 out of 5. Okay, naintindihan? Then, so automatically, if this is the part, the representation for the girls, then etong matitira would be the representation for the boys. So what would be the fraction for the boys? So the answer is correct, 2/5. It would be 2/5. So 2 over the whole is 5. Okay, next. So ito na po yung ating sketch, ating drawing. So we will start with, okay, so the problem is, sabi doon, there are 60 students in the class. So lahat yan is 60 students. So the question would be, ilan yung bawat square na ito? So to get the answer, we will multiply 60 times, we will multiply it with 1/5. So the 1/5 there is 1 square. It represents 1 square. So 1/5. So for us to get the total number of this, so this would be represents students. Okay? Then, so how are we going to do that? That would be 60. We will multiply 60 times 1. So the answer is 60. Then our answer 60, we should divide it with 5. So 60 divided by 5, the answer is 12. It means, in this one square, it represents 12 students. So 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, provided that it is divided equally. So the question is, if this is 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, so ilan po yung girls? So the girls is, yung kanilang fraction ay 3/5. So to get the answer for the girls, we will multiply 12 times, okay, yung nire-represent ng girls, which is 3. The answer is, okay, 36. So therefore, there are 36 girls in that classroom. So for the boys naman, ang nire-represent niyang fraction ay 2/5. So i-multiply natin si 12 times, okay, doon na lang sa dalawang square 2. That would be 24. Therefore, there are 24 boys. To check our answer if it is correct, the total of the girls and the boys, the 36 girls and the 24 boys, should be equal to the total students, to the total number of students. So, ilan po yung number ng students? Okay, tama, di ba? It should be 60. So, if add po natin si 36 and 24, ang tanong, magsasum up ba siya sa 60? Correct, nagsasum up siya sa 60. 36 plus 24 is 60. It means our answer is correct. Okay, thank you. So, yan muna for this part 1. So, sa next video ay pag-aaralan naman natin ang pag-a-arrange ng real numbers. Okay, so God bless.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share!